Path of Exile, settlers of Kalguur.
Well, hey guys, what's up, my dudes? Gonna start off the Path of Exile, and you'll see what kind of character. I'm gonna explain that here in a minute. Alright, got the Twilight Strand. Okay, the character steps out on the beach. Well, the exile. You're in purgatory. Anywho, now you're gonna see that blade right there? Yep, go ahead, you're gonna grab that. And you're gonna go talk to this dying exile.
You and I, we're the only ones that made it to shore. Alive, anyway. Looks like you found something you can defend yourself with. Good. This place is crawling with criminals.
Well, now that right there was a little unexpected. How do you have zombies in purgatory? Well, it is what it is. Did one hand smack her with the sword, you know. Alright, now we got a skill gem. Now that is, you know, got the tutorials up here. You can take a look at that and how that works. And gotta socket that in that beautiful weapon right there. There's 3 different color sockets, a 4th one, but I'll get to that later. You got green, red, and blue. Green being dexterity type, blue being magic, and red being melee. So, gonna go ahead and sock that, and gonna take a look at how this one works. Well, yes, a boomerang blade, if you will. Swords, axes, and daggers. So, I mean, it's basically one-handed weapons, minus a, like, nail fist, scepter, you know, cudgel, that type of stuff. It can get fun, though. Should you unalive a monster, or any of the evil beings, corrupted ones, you unalive them whenever it does the first pass. Well, you can go ahead and move around, and it will still swing back to you. And you can basically hit multiple ones in a few different, like 1 or 2 shots. It's pretty cool. I mean, you know. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grind it out, get a level or 2 up, and, you know, kind of just give you a general peek at what this particular skill does. Now, one thing's for sure, you definitely want to use your potions, mana potions, health potions, you know, that type of thing. I mean, you can't keep, like, you know, unaliving yourself by not, like, you know, hitting a potion. But there's other upgrades to weapons and armor that, you know, you can do life on hit, leech, like, you know, that type of stuff. It's you know, it's fun. It's fun. Seriously, though, once you get later in the game, not too much later, maybe to the 2nd act, you will realize that, you know, depending on how you do the skill gems, level things up and keep your weapons upgraded, you can and will be OP very early in the game. Alright, anywho, this gem right here, Prismatic Burst, it's a blue one. There's a blue socket on that sword right there. This can get fun. Prismatic Burst, after you're spending so much mana on an attack, it will trigger a nice special touch, if you will, to your attack. I mean, a nice little explosion, you know, basically the icing on the cake. So you got to see that nice little added touch that it has. I mean, you know, like I said, it just kind of perfects the attack, as you saw right there. So you get that nice little added sound effect of the zombie being unalived. Alright, gonna continue to walk along this beautiful beach right here, and basically just grind it out a little bit, get a level or 2, and you will see that we're going to end up stumbling upon a higher level one, which, you know, that
I have nothing more
later on down the line, though, it presents a bit of a challenge, but, you know, if you do your skill gems and all that right, this will be no match for you. Also, between the beginner area, but not quite too much, you will see later on that a lot of gear is going to drop, a lot, but you only have a certain amount of bag space. You know, this isn't like Skyrim to where you can just basically damn near carrying almost an infinite amount of stuff that you just kind of wonder how is that possible. But that's beside the point. You want to make sure to kind of go over it, and oh, we got a level. Kind of go over it to make sure that you keep your like you don't pass up any better weapons, better armor, that type of thing. Also, it's good to in the small towns to check out the vendors. Make sure that they don't also have other better gear for you. I mean, it gets a little bit more complex, especially with different items. Now, this level wonderful zombie right here decides to come creeping up. Like, hey, I want to talk to you about your car's extended warranty type of creeping. Yeah. Now, here in a minute, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the attribute tree to go ahead and show you just the scope that this character has when it comes to leveling system. Now, I'm sure that most of my fellow gamers are familiar with the endless capabilities one has with Skyrim. Well, wait till you see this as soon as I get done unaliving this level zombie. Alright, dropping the gear. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and grab some of these, auto-equip it if you ain't got nothing equipped. Now, we get to open up that attribute tree. Alright, now give me a second here. I'm going to take a look. There we go. Alright, now you see she's got full access to all three areas. Now, let's go ahead and take a zoom out here in a second after showing you each of the first ones. And gonna like you basically flip your lid, lose your nugget, you know, that type of thing. So give me a second here. Gonna go ahead and zoom out after taking a look at all the beginner ones, or should I say the very first ones you have access to. So, I mean, dexterity, magic, melee. Now we're gonna go ahead and, after deciding which one would be the best course of action, which you want to go with what fits your play style. I mean, look at it. Look, hold on, I haven't zoomed all the way out yet. Look at the scope of this. There's all kinds of ones on there that give boosts to minions. Like if there is a skill gem, you can summon, well, several. They can summon zombies, skeletons, stuff like that. There's also support totems, flame-throwing totems. I mean, it gets pretty diverse. It's wild on a good level. I mean, that is for real, for real. Now, that's a pretty diverse attribute tree right there. So, I mean, if you want to go all three areas of the attributes, I mean, it's a little bit of a grind, but to be honest, you're going to level up and you're going to level up quickly. So, if you want to take the play style on of going all three, I'm entirely up to you, but it's just whatever your preference is. All right, now we're going to go ahead over to the small town, village, whatever you want to call it, several names for it, and it is Lionized Watch. Now, since there's 5 acts to this game, you do have, I mean, each town, small city, like I said, whatever you'd like to call it, has different areas of what it offers. And what I mean to that is, well, of course, different layouts, but, you know, you have your stash. There's others that are bigger than say, this one, for example. But you just wait, because since I have a couple other characters on this, wait till I visit that stash. And if any of y'all have played the Diablo franchise, if you put anything in that stash, it shares it with all of your other characters. Tunes, so yeah, I mean, there's several words for that too, but it's not exactly what you call cheating. You're just giving any new characters a good start.
My crew is gone, but my wits remain. There's an island, a hop, skip and a wade offshore of the terraces. That's where my merry go ran aground. Watched the locals spit roast the ship's doctor, but his medicine chest might still be there, amongst the splinters and bones. It'd have everything Nessa might need. Dr. Shaky Hands Upton was lousy with a scalpel and even worse with a saw, but he knew his apothecary.
Decisions must... I witnessed your battle against Hillik. I wasn't aware your people had such abilities. My name is Johan, and I'm from the Far East. My people, the Kalguurans, are attempting to build a settlement near here. We could use someone with your talents. You know the land, you know the dangers. Will you join us? I'll await your answer in Kings.
Fine work with Hillik.
Now that
Where'd you learn to
gentleman
fight
right
like
there,
that?
Johan, he
forget I
offers,
asked.
okay, it's not
We
so much he
exiles have
offers,
no
you also
history.
have the opportunity to
Dominus
rebuild
took
your
it
own
from us when he
town.
had his blackguard
That gets
dump us in the
super
water
fun
out there.
because there's all kinds of, like,
Got
you know,
something for you.
different things you
Should
can
help
do
you
in
kill
that
a few
town.
more of
And
those
that's something
undead
I'll touch
bastards.
base with a little bit later.
Don't bother thanking me.
Alright, now,
figure it.
as you
The
know,
longer
with
we
other
fighters
games, you
live,
get
the
quest
longer
rewards.
everyone lives.
Now, after the dialogue is done with this gentleman, alright, now, he offers different skill gems. Like I said, you have to go with what fits your playstyle. Okay, now this part gets fun because, like I said, your abilities that you have depends on what skill gems you choose, and those ones level up. Like I said, there's attack. Well, of course there's attack skill gems, but you got support ones which help boost that attack. They don't give you extra abilities per se. They just boost the attacks that you currently have. In case it seems like I'm taking a minute on this one, I'm just kind of like letting you take a look at it as to what each gem has to offer. Now, I'm going to take a look at what I have equipped as opposed to what other skill gem that I have chosen. Not only that, but you also want to take a look if you happen to buy any additional weapons or armor or whatnot. You definitely want to make sure that it has the amount of sockets and the color sockets that you prefer. Now, with the current skill gems I have in there, I mean, when it comes to the spectral throw, you are going to want a one-handed weapon. The nailed fist is not going to work. That's not going to work because, I mean, you know, it's just it's specifically for swords, axes, and daggers of the one-handed equipped capability. Alright, now it's time to go take a look at the stash. Now, as you can see, I've got, like I said, a couple other tunes on here, and I got a pretty good start for any other new tunes. Yes, I don't exactly have too much weapons and armor in there. I did it one time, but, you know, unless you purchase, like, stash upgrades, it can get full quickly. You can also assign tabs to like specific like gems, currency, armor, weapons, that type of thing. It can get pretty technical, but aside from that, I'm just going to take a look at what I have in there that my current level is able to use. Now, there's certain other things you can get a hold of, like armor, scrap, blacksmith, like, you know, different ones that can upgrade the quality of your weapons and armor to where it offers, like, better protection, more damage, that type of thing. There's also the chromatic orb on that other page that is like a rainbow looking stone, but what that does is that changes the color of the sockets. That gets fun in regards to, you want to make sure that you have enough on hand because it'll do it randomly. In which there's a jeweler's orb and there's a link orb that it's a different name for it, of course, but you can have it to where more than one socket linked together, and you'll see that with lines. There's certain lines that go between the sockets. Like, say, if you have a support gem, you're going to want to link to the particular socket that it is going to give support to. Like, you know, a nice added boost, like I said. As of right now, I'm just trying to make up my mind as to whether or not I would like to use a bow as opposed to a sword. I mean, you know, whenever you got one that's the hybrid of the hybrids, the possibilities are endless, but you just have to go with whatever your playstyle is and what you prefer. Now I'm taking a minute here because I'm trying to figure out as to why I'm not able to equip it. It might be because I don't have any attributes into dexterity. I don't know. It's kind of one of those games that you know, there's not too much of a tutorial, and you gotta kind of just figure it out as you go. Ark is another one like that, the original, not the remake. You kind of just get thrown to the wolves per se, and yeah, you're good, you'll figure it out, you know, that type of thing. But that's besides the point. Right now I'm just going through my other gems and other like upgrade stones and whatnot, just to see what I'm able to use at the current point in time. Or, like I said, also what my preference would be. It's just I can't seem to make up my mind right now. But just bear with me, guys. Yeah, I'll get back into that later as to, like, I'll hop back on the game a little bit later trying to figure out how to, you know, equip that bow. It's showing me that I'm able to, it's just that whenever it comes time to equip it, I'm not exactly sure why it won't let me, but I'll touch base on that a little bit later. I don't want to keep you guys wondering what exactly the heckins I'm doing. And I don't even know.
Still alive, are we?
Now I'm going to go back over here and take a look at what this guy has to offer, to see about just basically making sure my attack is up to speed with my level, laying waste to those that oppose me. Anywho, and making sure I got proper armor, of course. As you can tell, for some reason, I don't have any chest armor. I could swore I did, not sure what happened there. I might have accidentally unequipped it and thrown it into the stash. At this point, I'm just having fun with it. Of course, I mean, you know, why wouldn't you have fun with a good video game like this? I mean, for real. But, okay, aside from that, I'm going to take a look at the armor here and see which one would be the better one to go ahead and grab. And it's got the right sockets and all that good stuff. So, yeah, like I said, bear with me as I'm making up my mind as to what I would like to do. Now, since she has access to every single attribute tree, right now it's deciding as to whether or not I would like to go with heavy armor, light armor, or medium. So, really, it's entirely a preference, but just gotta see with what offers the best in specifications. Alright, now which sword gives the best attack? Well, now, it's a hard choice. Decisions. Well, no. Looking at the specs on that, as opposed to my current equipped weapon, I'm going to want to go over to my stash over here and grab a whetstone so as to increase the quality. Actually, no, wait. No, wait. I have an orb of alchemy that I'm going to go ahead and grab. I just got to remember which tab I put it in, so as to make a normal weapon a rare one. Now, there it is. Okay. Now I just want to take a look at some. Take just a gander, see what else I got in here to go ahead and give a little oomph to that sword. Alright, gonna apply that orb of alchemy. Ah, snap. Well, now that has just made it to where I have to be a level 4, I believe, in order to be able to use that weapon. Which ain't no biggie. Go out, slap some more zombies with that sword I currently have equipped, and it'll be all good. So I'm gonna take an additional look at the stash, see if I got any more. Okay, definitely gonna keep it. Another orb of alchemy on me. That way, because upgrades are always good, especially when it comes to a normal item, because it gives you all kind of other different really good attributes to the weapon of choice. So, ooh, even armor, of course. But at least that didn't make it to where I cannot equip them. Now, it's a totally randomized thing. As you can tell, it can get technical, but it's on a good level. I'm going to go ahead and hit my other armor up with that, and we're just going to go from there. I mean, why not have some added boosts whenever going back out of the city to, lay waste to those that dare cross my path. Am I right? Now, one thing to keep in mind, whenever you're headed back out to the wild, you do want to make sure to try to keep your inventory cleaned out, because like I was saying, zombies and all these other wonderful evil monsters tend to drop a lot of gear, loot, several different names for that too. But yeah, because you never know. You come back, you sell it to the vendors, you end up getting good things in return. Plus, if you do it a certain way, like with a gem and an iron ring, for example, one of the skill gems, what they give back to you is a resistance ring. It can get pretty cool. Same goes for amulets. Don't mind my OCD-ness here, but you're definitely going to want to keep some portal scrolls and scrolls of wisdom on you, because you're going to find unidentified items. And once you identify them, you are going to see that some of them have some pretty sweet attributes. And once again, it goes depending on your playstyle as to whether or not you want to equip those. Also, when it comes to terms of armor value, weapon value, damage output, protection level, that type of thing.
I've a simple choice ahead of me. Kill or be eaten.
Okay, now we're on the coast. Oh, look at this beautiful beach. Oh my word. Yeah, exactly. But, anywho, I mean, you know, if it wasn't taken over by evil, I mean, it probably would be beautiful. But aside from that, it's time to do a little bit more grinding and, you know, find more gear. Ooh, look, oh, what one's that called? Lightning tendrils. Yes. Ah, that's pretty dark, a little bit gory, but I mean, you know, it's not like it's in the sense of Dead Space where it's up in your face. So it's like that's. I don't know, some people have preferences for that. Some people don't. Back to the matter at hand. These evil beings, monsters, like I said, any number of names for them, they do tend to drop some pretty sweet skill gems. I mean, you know, it can get really nice. Don't mind my pup in the background. But there's a lot that do offer some really good AoE or area of effect damage. I mean, you know, the faster you can lay waste to the entire map, mopping it for, like, you know, a different way of putting it, you can, you know, then you really have nothing too much to worry about. It gets fun.
Lion-eyed gemlings met us with shining metal and bold words. Hyri's arrows withered their pride. Calm's axis silenced their despair. Marseilles Lion-eye fought bravely to the last. Calm honored him with a place on his belt. Calm has shown Rayclast our Karui strength. Calm will teach Rayclast the Karui.
Now the AoE damage, some of them, well actually the majority of them, tend to be a good crowd control, especially when you get surrounded by these wonderful things that the spectral throw is not going to really put too much of a dent into. But yeah, that can get pretty interesting. I mean, there's auras also. There's one of my other tune on my Templar that he had this beautiful lightning aura. Once you throw out one lightning attack, it kind of just like strikes everybody in the given area, and that also gets pretty fun. And that wonderful crustacean lizard is just on the outside of the lightning tendrils. So it's just like, you know, not one of my finer moments, but it is what it is.
Khan's canoe struck this sand.
I'm gonna go visit the web carving again. It does provide a little bit of background lore.
The greatest war host in Karui history tamed the wild sea, their canoes coupling with the land one by one. Lion-eyed gemlings met us with shining metal and bold words. Hyri's arrows withered their pride. Calm's axis silenced their despair. Marseilles Lion-eye fought bravely to the last. Calm honored him with a place on his belt. Calm has shown Rayclast our Karui strength. Calm will teach Rayclast the Karui way.
Now, whenever the gear is dropped like this, you definitely want to make sure to take a look at it. And, you know, got one of them things, cannibals coming up and just decided to slap me with their weapons. But they got another thing coming. But aside from that, always make sure to check everything out. Because who knows, you may end up coming across something that's legendary. Alright, as y'all can tell, I went ahead back to town to go ahead and add a little bit of oomph to that axe. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab Chromatic Orb. I've already hit it with the Orb of Alchemy. So, as I've told you, the Chromatic Orb goes ahead and changes the color of the sockets that are in the item. You want to definitely do that, especially if you have a certain playstyle and say it only has green sockets. Now, the green sockets, like I said, that's mainly dexterity. I mean, you know, there's several different tunes that you can choose from that have certain skill sets, or should I say, a certain play style. If you want primarily green, then you're gonna go green. If you want, you're gonna have to have green. If you go blue, magic, it's what you stick with. But when you have the Scion, you can, like I said, you can go like full spectrum and just, you know, have some serious amounts of fun with that. But anywho, alright, we went ahead and equipped that.
Still
So we're going to
alive,
go
are we?
over to the gentleman over here, and we're going to sell off that sword, which gives us part of a scroll of wisdom. You get, I think, 20 of those, and it'll give you the scroll of wisdom. Now that's just a piece, for example. Just a you all get what I mean. You get 20 of those, you get a scroll of wisdom. Portal scrolls, a little bit different. Same with the orbs. I mean, you know, you get essences of them, and then you get so many, and they auto combine into the orb of whatever it is. You got transmutation, augmentation. It's pretty diverse. Now, as you can see, with the axe and the upgrades I have added to it, it added a little bit of extra punch. Now, if you're wondering what the Crimson Ore is, it goes along with your town that you're rebuilding. And it's really cool because watch when I get done with defeating the crow.
Life grows, so even in graveyard.
The miners that I've hired in my rebuilding of my town are making their way over via portal to go ahead and mine that. Now it can get, it gets pretty interesting because you can mine amber, oricum, crimson ore. It goes from there. And what that does is when you go back to your town, if you have a runesmith set up, which you can send shipments out, and once, like I said, that's a whole other thing, part of the game. I'll walk through that here in a little while. the nice thing about lightning damage. It has its own way of leaving them vulnerable, but it doesn't hit them with a vulnerable debuff. But what happens is, when you hit them with lightning damage, and per se they get stopped, it leaves them vulnerable to take more damage. Kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't the way I put it, but it's just when your marker is vulnerable, that you're taking increased amounts of damage. That's the way to put it. Look it, I just cut that sucker in half. Now, the one thing that sucks is that I did not realize that the recording stopped whenever I lit up the waypoint. So as you can tell, I've already laid waste to this part of the map. Yeah, I know, baby girl. But you didn't really miss too much aside from just combat. And that's my apologies. My bad. And let's get heading over to the beach, taking note of the absolute gorgeous beauty. Yes. Taking a moment to reminisce. A huge shout out to the developers. I mean, the amount of detail is absolutely astounding. Oh yes, and here we have some more tungsten iron. It is good to have in your rebuild every 110 upgrade items, well, you know, armor, weapons, you know, all that good stuff. And it goes also with the runes that one gets from the different courses. You know, there's many different runes that do that everything, but aside from that, yeah, a little bit later in the game, you're gonna just, like, you know, get bombarded by mobs. And it's just, you know, it's one beginning of the video with the first level boss. How it was like, oh, I'm talking about the part you didn't work. Yeah, well, the mobs, it's like, you know, that's almost equivalent of how many scam calls you get with that stuff. Because no matter how much you try to block it or use Robo Killer to, it's at 1F. To try to get it to stop, no, they just find a different burner number call you found.
Fish the waters.
But yeah, that's aside from that, back to
Kalguur way is yet a seedling here, but it grows, gains in pride and power every day. Khan has kept his promise. The time of the Kalguur has come.
Now that we have the medicinal chest, we can go ahead and go back to the town, city, yeah, to go ahead and complete that quest.
I'd almost stopped believing in miracles. This medicine chest, it's greater than the serums and salves it holds. It tells us that we can do more in Ray class than merely suffer. I've not much to offer in return, but please, take something and thanks for what you've done.
Now, the rewards for this one is just an upgraded flask of your choice, and that's in either health, mana, or a bismuth flask. I'm not really one for the bismuth ones or even any of the other ones. It's just not part of like the way I do my play style, because some increase your attack speed, some increase your health regeneration, as do some of the other attributes that you can throw on weapons and armor. But here we got different gems, skill gems, also that I'm just browsing through so as to check to see, like, you know, which one that in my opinion would be the better one to go ahead and grab. But the chance to bleed support is very nice, even though I already have that over my stash. It adds a nice touch to, like, kind of not, you're not exactly leeching life out of them directly back to you, but I tell you what, their health bar is going to go down even whenever they're not getting hit. But yeah, each gem, it's like I was telling you before, it just depends on what your desired playstyle is like, or what your preference is. I mean, we all got different ideas, and, you know, the things that tickle the fancy, you know, that type of thing. Now, aside from assigning upgraded flasks, I have just now realized that I have to purchase the wrong weapon. I was one of those times I wasn't quite paying attention to the entire item description. It's a two-handed sword. Two-handed sword is not exactly gonna go over well with the current skill gems equipped, so back to my one-handed axe and chill.
So, you managed to salvage Shaky Hand's druggery. Nicely done. Nessa will put it to good use. More than that, be numb.
Got a job for you, if you're willing. There's a pool near the mud.
Ah, yes.
Still alive,
the
are
Fetid
we?
Pools quest. Shiloh, leave biscuits alone. Yeah,
Welcome.
I know you heard biscuits basically tell her back up. Anyhow, those two have an interesting bond. They're bonded, but that's besides the point. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what weapons and armor that this gentleman has, as opposed, because like I just sold it back, the two-handed sword that is not part of my playstyle and is deemed as useless in my opinion. That's just my own opinion. Everybody else's opinion is totally different. So, I'm going to see what other kind of, like, you know, like I've just got one right there. I believe that's a rusted spike. Probably use a chromatic orb on it. Since it is already a magic item, I don't think I'm going to be able, well, I'm not going to be able to use a Orb of Alchemy on that. There are different other orbs that you can go ahead and upgrade a magic item, but I've only found that one other time. It's just a random drop. Oh, I take that back. That is a normal item. So I'm going to go ahead and use that order of alchemy on that beautiful piece of rusted spike. It works. I mean, well, you know, you're not going to really find anything better until a little bit later. So, it works. So I went ahead and upgraded it, which puts it at unusable until reaching, I believe, level 6.
Still
if
alive,
I saw that
are we?
right. So, let us take a look. Alright, go ahead and sell off those. Get a couple like remnants or something else. I'm going to go ahead and also go into my options here, settings, and turn off the tutorial tags. So I'm going to have to locate that all the way bottom. Almost. There we go. And yeah. And those tend to be a pain, especially whenever you do catch the gist of what you're doing. But yeah. Alright, headed back to the coast because I gotta find the mud flats in order to be able to get to the Petit Blues. Alright, my dudes, that's going to be all for today. I'm going to definitely jump back on tomorrow. Go ahead and post another post. That way to be the continuation of the Path of Exile walkthrough. Make sure you tune on in now, you heard? Catch y'all later.